All right, cool. So the chapter I read and I'm going to present to you on is called Flip the Script, which is about organizing, meaning like, okay, we've learned about the problems of the problems of capitalism. What can we do if we want a different kind of a world? So a couple of things that Jabali suggests for making a difference. You could run for office, you could support co-ops and mutual aid programs, and also organize your co-workers. Do people know what co-ops and mutual aid programs are? All right, so a co-op is basically like a worker-owned business. So like in Oakland, there's a pizza shop and bakery called Arizmendi, and the workers like collectively own and run it. So instead of having like a single boss, they kind of work together. Mutual aid is the ways people get together and basically figure out how to help each other out, right? So I'm in need, I get help from you, you're in need, you get help from me, kind of directly. So it can be giving each other money or giving each other things that you need to kind of survive in your life. So just directly helping each other out. And then organizing coworkers would be helping to like make a union for your company that you're at. She talks a lot about this guy named Charles Barron, who is a socialist in New York City, and he's actually a council member there. He thinks that socialists should be working on building power, and then he gives an example of a housing project in Harlem that they prevented from getting developed, which would have gentrified the neighborhood. Everyone knows what it is to gentrify? Who knows what gentrify means? No? Kwame, you don't know? Luis, you know? Okay, so to gentrify is basically when the area gets filled in with a bunch more rich people because they have money who can like afford the housing. So this housing development would have cost a lot more than like the local rent rates, right? Even though the company was saying that the housing would be affordable, it actually wouldn't. And so the city council person there like pushed back against the developers and said, hey, you need to build a lot more affordable housing. And then the developer backed out. So this was kind of, it was just an example for him to like showing like, use your power to like either say no to bad things or, in this case, it's preventing bad things. It's not about building good things. And this is an example for him of power. Other ideas that he has is electing socialists to city councils and state legislatures, right? So similar to Jabali of getting people involved in like local politics or state politics. He also wants people to invest in community land trusts. So this is basically when a local community owns the land and then can use it for affordable housing or to have businesses, but businesses again that are maybe co-ops or like not profit oriented, but about helping out the community. You could also use it for community gardens and things like that. He also wants people to have like more local democratic action. So there's the city council in your city, but you could also have like in your neighborhood kind of like communities that get together and make decisions about what they want the community to be like. So people organizing to make decisions about what they want their community to look like. And then he really focuses on starting from the bottom, right? It's not just about trying to get the right president in or anything, but starting from local, but also keeping an eye on like the kind of larger political organization. The other person she talks about in this chapter is a guy named Chris Smalls, who helped to organize Amazon's labor union. So he was just a regular worker there, and he noticed that during Amazon, their COVID policy was quite bad. They said that nobody was getting COVID, but people were, and Amazon wasn't really doing stuff to protect the workers, so he ended up organizing a union. And he has a nice quote about, this is actually something that I think Asada Shakur in another chapter said is, we are the wealthy ones if we really understood our power and wealth. The workers are the ones who hold the value, right? Jeff Bezos doesn't come to the warehouse and pack these packages, it's us, right? So again, like worker power, workers are the ones who really get stuff done. And he talks about being practical, not ideological, meaning the point is not to go around and say like, everyone should be a socialist. The point is to go around and help people. Like, what do you need? What can we do to make things better? And start doing it, right? And then people will want to join the organization. Cool, and then her recommendations at the end. One is to join a strike fund. Anyone know what a strike fund is? Any guesses? So we all know what a strike is, yeah? Strike is...
They're protesting for something?
It's more specific than that.
Advocating?
Well, what are you protesting when you're on strike? Who is protesting? What are they protesting?
Like the workers?
The workers are protesting by doing what?
Like not.
They're not going to work. And why would they do that?
Because like unfair treatment and unfair.
Yes. So a strike fund, when you're not working, you're not making money. So a strike fund is like creating a bunch of money, so if workers go on strike, they have money to live and survive during the time they're on strike. So you can contribute to strike funds even if you are not part of a union yourself. You can join or create a union. So obviously you guys generally don't have jobs right now, but when you go into the workplace, right, you can either join the union at your work site, or you can try to create a union at your company. She has a quote from Frederick Douglass, who was a person who escaped from slavery right back when there was slavery in the US, and he has this nice quote. He became a major kind of leader against slavery and for a more just world, and he has a nice quote that power concedes nothing without a demand, right? You have to like push to make change, it won't just happen. And she talks about, right, it's not easy to make changes. The billionaires and the millionaires are the ones who have a lot of the money and power, and their lives are good and comfortable, so you have to kind of make them uncomfortable by doing the work. And then she ends kind of again with this discussion of, capitalism is this kind of toxic romantic partner. Socialism is not going to be perfect, but it'll be better than this kind of bad partner that we've been with for centuries. Okay, I think that's, and then for my personal reflections, I'm a part of Envision's union, but maybe I would be like the rep for the local Envision. I've thought about doing that, so maybe next year. There's a group in Oakland called Youth vs. Apocalypse that came to speak to y'all, and if people are interested, maybe see if you guys want to do a club, and I would host that, which is not about capitalism per se, but it's about kind of climate and capitalism are connected. There's also some organizations in Oakland, like the Democratic Socialists of America, so they do a bunch of things related to kind of building socialism, so I might look into them. And then there's a couple of other organizations that they're not about capitalism per se, but about some of the things connected to the capitalist system. The Anti-Police Terror Project, so they do things related to keeping the police accountable and trying to make a better kind of justice system in Oakland. And then there's the Oakland Abolition in Solidarity group, which tries to do stuff with like prisoners and like the local jails and support them. And then I don't know if they'll ever actually run for office, but it's something to consider if I ever really felt like that was something that I wanted to do. Okay, that's it. Thank you for your attention.